It looks like we're just now seeing the consequences and repercussions of Will Smith's actions last week at the Oscars. Over the weekend, it was announced that both Netflix and Sony have put several projects involving Smith on the back burner, one of which includes Bad Boys 4. This appears to be one of the first disciplinary actions announced against Smith since slapping Chris Rock at the award show. According to reports, a few other of Smith's projects that are in pre-production are likely to do the same. Today we have our comedy hype analysts, Capone and Pierre, calling to the show to give their reactions. Pierre, I'm gonna go ahead and lay this one up to you. I know it's been a hot topic. What are your thoughts and reactions now that we're, seeing these actions being taken against Smith? And are you surprised that this is what it's come to?
No, not at all. I almost think it's good for Will because I don't know if Will's in the right frame of mind right now with all this stuff happening to him. So maybe mentally he ain't even right for it. So it's not a major thing they're doing, setting some stuff back. Maybe they're giving him time to get his head together. So I don't know if it's disciplinary action they really doing to him. I think it's giving him time to get his head together. Now, if they take the movies away from him, that's a total different project away from him. But just to postpone him, Hollywood is always about that foolery, tomfoolery. Like they doing something when they ain't doing shit. So to me, it's just him getting his head together. They're giving him time to get his head together. And I hope he continues to make this movie. So,
Capone, I want you to chime on this. Hearing this news, are you surprised and what's your reaction to it?
No, I'm not surprised at all. It seems that it's always a trickle-down effect. When you mess with one part of this Hollywood thing, the other part, people just react to it. And like Pierre said, hopefully it'll give Will enough time to get his head back into the game. But I'm not surprised at all.
Now, a lot of people have been speaking about how they feel indifferent about the actions that were taken, including Lavelle Crawford. You have Tony Rock, of course, Jim Carrey, and even Corey Holcomb. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. Pierre, I'll come back to you. I know we've kind of, saw and heard some of those reactions. What are your thoughts on those?
Well, I mean, there are different levels of different reactions. Like Tony Rock is his brother, so he was very, upset. And you could tell he was pissed off about the situation. Jim Carrey I guess he's pissed off at Hollywood really more. And so, talking about, he considers Will Smith part of the Hollywood machinery, that you see how they gave him a standing ovation after he won, after he slapped, the Chris Rock. So he has a different, feeling. Corey Holcomb is Corey Holcomb, he spew out any damn thing, he's gonna say what he's gonna say. And Lavelle Crawford made it funny. So, everyone has opinions, different variations of opinions about the situation. I'll be glad when we move forward from this and move on.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with you, Capone. I want to come to you and get your thoughts on those reactions. A lot of people are speaking out and saying they feel indifferent. What are your thoughts on those specific comedians?
I mean, like Pierre said, I think the shocking, not shocking, but like I actually kind of had eyes wide open when I watched Corey Holcomb talk about it. Holcomb, he don't hold back. And he said a lot of things that I probably would have said. But I think the Jim Carrey one hit me the most because I think I agree with him. Everybody kept asking me, I know you would have handled it a different way. I guess people don't know me. The younger me might have fought him. The younger me would have fell on the stage and we would have talked about what I was going to get, how much I was going to get compensated. Right. I'm not trying to fight nobody no more. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how I would have handled it.
A lot of those brothers of what I would have did are the brothers that got them jobs that white man telling them what time to be at work, what time to get off, what time his break is. But they gonna tell me what they would have did. I would have. You ain't gonna do shit. You don't do nothing at work. You ain't talk back to your boss at work, brother. You ain't talking shit to your white man boss at work, brother. But you gonna slap another man on that, man. Get on with that.
Let me ask this because I think you bring up a great point, and Capone, I want to come to you. What are your thoughts about Chris Rock's reaction to it? Because I think a lot of people have been focused on Will and those actions, but Chris Rock stood there and continued the show. So what are your thoughts on how Chris Rock responded and, him coming out and kind of defending Will Smith at his recent show and kind of saying, don't say F Will Smith. It's a lot to process, but what are your thoughts on where Chris Rock is currently standing?
I give the highest respect to Chris Rock. I'm also one of the guys who I don't believe in. I mean, there was a very, very tense situation, but I don't believe in knocking a black man down when he's falling. And so it helped his sales on his show. I will say that he's a very smart individual. When it happened, I'm gonna be honest with you, I felt bad for him because he was so, disarrayed that even when he spoke like a hurtful kid. Like, I will, man. When Will was shouting out to him, it was like I felt his pain. And I'm very happy that he handled it the way that he handled. I'm proud of him, to be honest with you. Now, Tony Rock, I rode with him, so I know it would have been a different story even if he was there. Tony's a different breed. That's my dude.
Yeah, and I think he's speaking up and making that very clear for everybody. But PR, I want you to chime in on that as well. What do you think about, not only how Chris Rock responded in the moment, but, now he's kind of, saying, don't say F Will Smith at his shows, and just saying, he's processing it and taking his time. What are your thoughts?
I totally agree with what Capone just said. It ain't about bringing another black man down, especially in an audience situation like that. We have worldwide people looking at us, two black men up there. One person had to take the high road in a scenario like that. And Chris Rock decided to take that. What good would it did if two black men would have been up there fist fighting and wrestling up on top of that? Well, what good would that have done? All the people saying, I would have took all that. What good would it have done to you fight to get off your chest? It's a personal situation. Chris Rock stood up more, not just personally, but for the whole, of black men, showing that we can, remain calm in a violent situation. We can take the high road, certain times. And it was a slap. Okay, we know in the hood, that's one of the worst things that happen. But at the same token, he didn't knock him out. He didn't knock him down. He just shook it off and said, all right, let me continue to do what I got to do. And he did it, and I commend him for doing it. But yeah, I wouldn't have hit him either. I'd let it go, let it roll. And, I might have said something more sarcastic, my mouth did. I'd have made, you know what I'm saying, said something sarcastic, but he handled it the way he handled it. And I think at the end of the day, I'm glad he's also not letting other people put visceral stuff into him, telling him, you need to say stuff on your shows and all that. When people say F Will Smith, no, man, come on, y'all. Come on, as a black man, come on, y'all. We don't need to tear each other down constantly. It happened. It happened. You can't change what happened. We can move forward. And I think Chris Rock is moving forward. And I think also, I'm quite sure Will Smith is hurt by that. Man, it's he did something that he didn't like. Let's not hold him down, forever about the thing. He did something, he apologized, and I hope them two get together on national TV or somewhere that we need to feel ourselves, that we need to see it before we stop talking that trash, and let them two talk it out in front of us so we can stop being instigators to that with memes and all that other ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes people forget, we've all made mistakes. We've all done something that we're not proud of. Now, speaking of, Will Smith having to take a pause on some of his projects, Bad Boys 4, we know that's a big one. And Martin Lawrence actually did share a video that I want us to take a look at. And then I want to get your thoughts and reactions on that as well. So let's take a look at this clip.
Once I get on stage, I'm a kid in a candy store. Being able to say what I want. I push the American thing to the limit.
Now, that clip will be posted shortly after, the whole situation happened. A lot of people feel like that's a subliminal message from Martin Lawrence. So, PR, I'll come to you first. What's your reaction to seeing that?
I mean, what was he saying? To say that we comics tell jokes and, deal with it, basically. If that's what he was saying, that's what he was saying. I mean, I didn't get why he would post that. He's friends with both of them. I don't get why he posted that.
Right. I'll come to you, Capone. What are your thoughts on it?
I don't think it was no subliminal message. I think it just was posted. Martin is the type of guy that he would be up to date with it and say what he wanted to say as that instead of using that old post. That was something that he used a while ago. And how people with the internet just play games. And that's the way I saw it, nothing more.
Absolutely. Now, I think we're all kind of, in a place where it's just we're just looking forward to move forward. There are so many new developments coming out of it, but it still just kind of feels stagnant. So I'll come to you first, Capone. How long do you think Will Smith will, feel these repercussions? And do you think that he should be forgiven from, people that are constantly, finding different angles and different things to say on the situation?
Is this part of the cancel situation that we've been talking about before? Do you think that's happening, or is this being put on pause, something different? Because, I'm not no doctor, but I can see that Will has been bothered for a long time. And it seems like Jada keeps coming up as the culprit of this thing, and nobody's saying nothing to her about, you know, I just, as a black man, watching how black women would have reacted to that, and she had no reaction. And then they showed later on how it was funny to her after the smack. Like, it clearly is something missing there that, you know, the elephant in the room is that she don't really care about this man. And that's the way I see it. So hopefully when he moves on from a lot of stuff. And I know a lot of people, including myself, we try to hold on to things because of family reasons. And sometimes family can be the biggest problem.
Pierre, I want to bring you in as well. What are your thoughts on, you know, how long do you think will feel these repercussions, and do you think he should be forgiven as we move forward?
I don't know. I don't know where it's at. I'm trying to find the fucks I give, but maybe they might be somewhere else. Or I don't know where it is. I don't give a rat's ass. Man, let me tell you something about this brother. He has his own life. He's a multi-millionaire. I hope that man takes his time and whatever he needs to do to take over his time. I don't care the time limit. It's on him. It's his life. I don't need to be injected into his life and care about every moment. How long should it be? 6 months, a year or two? I don't give a damn as long as he gets the help he needs. Now, some people, like my man Capone said, it's his wife. A lot of people think it could be Jada. I say, brother Will Smith, you handle that, brother. If you keep, you know, this is one of the most monumental things that's happened to his career as far as his behavior, that this is open to the light. Now, if he continues to be with her, there's a reason maybe that we don't understand why he's with her. And if he leaves her, then we say, okay, this was the camel that brought the straw that brought the camel's back. I understand that with him. But as far as her, the laughing thing, now you have to give credit when credit. When she laughed, the audience laughed too. So she wasn't the only person laughing now, you know, but I think it's because a lot of people didn't know how real it was at the time, you know what I'm saying, until he sat down and started cursing back. So at that moment, she laughed, and the rest of them doesn't mean she's the only one laughed. Listen to this tape one more time. The whole audience laughed. So maybe y'all thought it was a joke, but didn't get it. Like, haha, you crazy? I don't know, you know, so to make her just the villain all the time, I don't know, but he's a grown man with responsibilities of himself. If he can't get himself away from her or find his way, peace from her or with her, that's on him. I'm not going to keep doing, you know, worrying about him. I got bills I got due. I got bills I got due, okay? What about my bills, Will Smith? Are you worried about my bills, brother? That's all I got to say.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate y'all for chiming in on this one. You know, I don't know how much longer it's gonna, you know, be the top of the news, but it is what's happening right now. So I appreciate you all for always, you know, being so open to chime in on this topic. But you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts about the new developments about shows like Bad Boys 4 being put on hold? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Put it in the comments.
What's up? I'm Terrence Sims. For years, you come to us to get the latest news in comedy and for your favorite comedians. Now, you can come to us for even more news in the world of sports, music, and pop culture. We're bringing you some of our classic shows you love, like Unforgotten, the Comedy Hype News Show, and more one-on-one interviews. We're more than just laughs, we're the culture, the leader in truth. And well, your streamer got a little more blacker. Welcome to Hype Plus.